Question. Shoot it.
So my question was, because a little while back, this kind of clicked in mind. I didn't say much because I wanted
Yeah.
to write it down and speak, but I always wanted to know, like through those rough times, with your mother and with your father and everything you were living through, did you ever really have many people to speak to about that issue?
No.
Like, or the
no.
issues that were coming up?
I mean, the only person I really had to talk to and would talk to me is my grandma. But
Mm.
I didn't learn that talking was important until after my mom died. When Tito came over. So, sophomore year, final exams. It was the first day of final exams. I'm sitting in the classroom. It's like 10 o'clock in the morning, if not earlier. It might be 8 or 9 or something. And we're preparing for the final exam and everything, and I get called to the office. Alan, can you come to the office? All that bullshit. And I go to the office, and my grandma's there crying. And my immediate brain thought was like, oh, fuck, what happened to my grandpa? Like, is grandpa okay? And she's like, yeah, he's fine. I was like, then what are you crying for? Like, what's wrong? Like, tell me. Like, just fucking tell me. Then the counselor was like, no, let's go into my room. I was like, no, grandma, just tell me. I don't care who's around me. Just tell me what's going on. And she was like, it's your mom. And I was like, oh, fuck. I was like, she in the hospital again, this and that. And she was like, because obviously, how do you break this fucking news to your child?
Nah.
To the person you care about, how do you tell them the one person they love is fucking dead? How do you tell that to someone? So she's like, she's like, your grandpa called me today and told me your mom passed away. Immediately, I'm just like, well, fuck it. Like, because you get like, I was angry, right? I was like, oh, fuck it. Like, oh, well. I cried for like 10 seconds, and then the counselor was trying to baby me, and like, she's like, if you don't want to do the final exams, you can stay home. We can reschedule. I looked at her. I was like, look. And this is when I started learning more about the reality of life and everything prior. And I literally told her, I was like, I'm going to come to school tomorrow because I know my mom wouldn't want me to just give up. Because if I just decided that day, nah, fuck it, I don't want to do school anymore, I don't want to live, I don't want to do anything, I know my mom would be upset with that. Because I've talked to my mom about this. Her biggest thing was like, she knew she had an addiction. She hated her addiction. She hated that she had that. We've had these talks. And she told me, she was like, just whatever you do, follow your dreams. Like, graduate high school, go to college, do what you need to do, be on your feet, right? And I would have been going against my teachings and the way I was raised and my mom's belief if that day my mom died and I was just like, fuck this, I'm done with school, I drop out and I give up. If I gave up that day, I lose everything. If I gave up, I would have lost everything. Because I understood that, look, like, we all kind of knew it was going to happen eventually because pills are the secret killer. They're the silent killer. They won't always kill you every time, but eventually they will. And we all kind of knew that. Even she did. Even she knew that. And when that happened and I talked to Tito about it and literally Tito missed school that day, so I knew who to call. My grandma picked me up. We were driving home and I called Tito right then and there while we were driving. I was like, hey, Tito, I don't know how to say this, but my mom's dead. Can you come over? That's literally word for word. I can call Tito right now and he'll tell you that's exactly what I said. And he was like, bro, what the fuck did you just say to me? Because like I threw it at him just like that.
What year was this?
This was 2014, 2015.
2015? Damn, that wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, it was about 7 years ago. 8 years this year. No, 7 years this year. Next May is 8 years. So he was like, he's like, what the fuck you just said to me? He's like, I'm on the way. Like, fuck, yeah, I'll come. Like, cause his mind just like got shit on too. And he came over and we literally didn't talk about it. He was like, what do you want to do? Like, we can talk about, he literally was like, we can address the situation, or if you want to sit down and we both game together, watch a show, watch a movie, whatever you want to do, I'm at full disclosure to do whatever the fuck you want. I'm here to help you. And I feel like sometimes if I didn't have him that day, nothing bad would have happened because I knew I would have been fine, but it was just helpful. It was nice to have someone, because I still had my grandma or whatnot, but the brotherhood bond you build with your friends or just somebody, like some people have that connection with their parents, right? Some people have that connection to someone. Whoever that deep connection is with, like mine was Tito, Guillermo, and Edwin, because after school, they all came over right after too. we talked about it a little bit, and we just gamed, distracted ourselves from it. Then that summer was when it got really tough. I felt empty. I felt hopeless. I felt cold. I felt like I didn't want to get up. I didn't want to wake up that day. I didn't want to get up. I didn't want to eat. I didn't want to game. I lost all desire for anything. It's just what happens. Like there is no sugarcoating it. It's just what kind of happens. Like you do lose drive. You lose motivation. You lose focus. But it's a matter of keeping yourself on your toes. You got to remind yourself, like I did. I sat there and I was like, look, my mom wouldn't want me to give up. This variable I cannot control. I can't control her being alive or dying. I cannot control that. What I can control right now is making sure that my mom would be proud of who I became. I was making sure that just because her life stopped doesn't mean mine had to. Just because she died didn't mean that I had to stop living that day. No, that's not even just like a suicidal thing. Like it doesn't mean I had to give up my motivations, my dreams, my drive. So that empowered me. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to let these things weigh me down. Like, obviously, I've had time to be able to develop this thought process because, you know, growing up and going through it, you experience it and you prepare yourself. Some people don't get to do that. And that's where me expressing this, I want other people to know, like, look at it the way I did. If you tell yourself and look at it the way I did, it'll become easier. Loss gets better. Through time, all these negatives turn into positives. Everything bad from my past turns into a positive every fucking day I wake up because they didn't get to wake up. There's people who went through my life that don't get to wake up tomorrow. Because
very motivational quote.
I was just thinking, like, because I asked you that initial question earlier, like, I wrote down that I think the source of unhappiness and unhealthiness that we see from men today are the pasts that they've lived through but have never been able to discuss because people rarely take the
100%.
time to conversate with other men about their past, you know?
So
Like,
here's how I explain it.
People's lives could be mad different if things were different.
I don't
Like, we could
know.
actually discuss
And that's why
I don't know why JTX, but when you give an opinion, it sounds funny.
All right, so here's exactly my solution, and like taking what you said, 100% true, because it's exactly how anxieties work and how our depression works. So how I describe it, how it starts, right? In theory, so say yesterday I did something bad and I shouldn't have done it, right? We remember the last time we remembering that situation. I know it's big jumble, but that's how it works.
Oh.
That's that's how your brain works. You remember the last time you remembering. That's just how that
hard
works.
drive, bro. Chill out.
So if on Tuesday, let's lay it down on the calendar's sake. If on Tuesday I thought, oh, what I did on Monday was bad, right? And then Wednesday, I remember, oh, I thought that was bad. It must have been really fucking bad what I did Monday. If I thought Tuesday was bad. And then now Wednesday, I'm rethinking about it and I'm thinking about it deeper and I'm going based off my last thought. If it was really fucking bad and I keep remembering, oh, it was really fucking bad. I'm a horrible person. And then Thursday, I think we're on Thursday now. And then Thursday, I remember that I thought Wednesday I was a horrible person because Tuesday it was still a bad situation that I did on Monday. So now Thursday, I'm like, holy fuck, no, I'm really horrible. Now I keep replaying the situation in my head, going based off of the last thing I remember about it, remembering the last thing about that, remember the last thing about that, and you're playing all these negatives. You're replaying them, which makes it worse. And then your brain processes it as a worse situation. So that way by Friday, you're beating yourself up. You think you're the worst person on this fucking planet, when in reality, all you did with Monday was fucking piss on the wall. I don't know. like something so minuscule. So now on Saturday, I go to Kevin and I'm like, hey, this situation happened. What do you think of it? Like, can I tell you this? And I tell him on Saturday, this is what happened. And he tells me, oh, that's not that bad. It's kind of shitty, but it'll be all right. Boom. Now Sunday, I'm going and telling myself, you know, it was bad, but it'll be all right. Now Monday, it's like, you know, it's okay. We make mistakes. Tuesday, I'm like, you know, I'm getting better. I feel better about it. And now I'm loose. And now it's positivity. Now you're turning it positive. Now you're making it to where you understand what you did was bad, but you're not holding on to it and you're not beating yourself up for it, because now I was able to free myself of it. I'm taking this weight, and instead of constantly piling more weight on top of this fucking platter, I removed it, and with giving Kevin Kevin's the knife, and I stabbed a hole in the plate of water, or the bowl of water, and now it's leaking out. So now I'm able to lessen the weight on me, and I can make it better. You have to you'll probably have to rewatch this. I don't know if I'm describing it good enough.
I mean, I kind of got lost in the middle of you talking.
I mean, like, I get it, but like, damn, I'm lost.
I ain't the only one.
All right, let me see.
Your question.
Let me see if I can explain this better.
Loading screen in my head.
What the fuck does man?
Let me see if I can explain this better.
He just gave you a whole ass TED talk.
I mean, to be honest, when you said about how like you think of a thought that you've thought of in the past, I mean, like
you got lost in the start.
I feel like how it goes for some people, especially if you just like pissed on a wall or something. Most motherfuckers, after thinking about the thought that they thought about, or which they thought of at that given moment, they just fucking forget.
No,
like,
that's
people,
no.
Like,
You're missing what I'm
even
saying.
A murderer,
You're missing what I'm saying.
Down the road would just be like, if not even remember that.
What I'm trying to describe is how it works in your brain. It's because this is literally
like,
how it works in your brain.
On.
It's in the subconscious. You keep adding this weight. So here, what if I explain it like this? You feel bad, like you feel ashamed of something. Every day you think about it, and all you're doing is adding this weight to it. You keep just beating yourself up about it. You keep adding the weight to your shoulder, and you think you have to battle with it alone. But when I talk to Kevin and he reminds me that they're like, it'll be okay, it'll get better, and he helps me push this weight off of myself, because I'm getting it out, I'm expressing it, I'm throwing the weight out through words, through expression, through being able to get another point of view. It as a human being, we crave the interactions with people, and that's what I just read about. Bad and our positives, our negatives and our positives. We rely on being able to express it to the people around us to get confirmation, because it's reassurance. Having these reassurances allows us to get out of our own heads, to stop playing games with ourselves, right? Because when you think of something that you did was embarrassing, you start really thinking like, oh, it was embarrassing. I need to stop doing this. I'm ashamed of this. I hate myself. And boom. But when I tell Kevin I was embarrassed of this, and he's like, bro, you're good. I'm now going to tell myself I'm good.
Alan, a few years ago, that story was swimming around Dookie water. That would